you see, that conversation between you both would be more interesting than what is he?
Who is this person?
Not who is this person. What do we make out of this? He has written something there, you see, that particle. You see, that must be there on the tapes, part of it, not this. Or you should record it on a tape and then read it aloud and you can put it there somewhere. You see what we were talking there, you see, that you missed.
What do you make of this fellow?
No, we were talking all kinds of things.
Yeah, just informal bits of
Informal,
conversation.
something comes out, you see, quickly. You see, like this, what I said here about the genes, something about
That's
food.
much better than an actual talk.
Discourse, conversation, nothing to eat, nothing will ever come out of it. What is it doing? You get the hang of it now?
Stop.
Everything that is happening there is within the framework of that living organism. And anything that is born out of thought is extraneous to that, and it is not interested in dealing with that at all.
Is despair part of the extraneous thing, or is it part of the organism?
It's like any other demand, you see, there is no way out, but you never come to grips with what you call despair. You are not dealing with the despair, because that is an integral part of this living organism, and you are dealing with what to do about something, the nature of which you have no way of understanding or knowing at all. That's all that I am saying. So that applies to all conceptual thinking. So it can only disturb the chemistry of the body and create...
So the solutions that we've got to seek is through the body.
Because you see, you are not dealing with the problems.
No, I mean, if I want respite from despair, I have got to tackle the chemistry of the body. I've got to take a pill.
Take a pill and...
verbal...
no analysis, no therapy, and the only solution for all the human problems is drug therapy. I am not referring to your silly drugs that you are taking, cocaine or any of that stuff. You have to find out, you see, some drug to deal with it. If you want enlightenment, you have to have a drug. That particular kind of an experience, if you are interested in. So you cannot deal with, or probably, you see, you will have to deal with the genes, the genetic engineering. When once you perfect that, you see, the state steps in, takes over, and you will lose control over that, like the way you see the atomic business,
What do you mean by drugs?
What do you mean? Any drug you take, aspirin for your headache, it may have some side effects, it doesn't matter, you will have to find out something else. So you have to deal with the side effects naturally. So I don't mean the drugs, opium or hash or cocaine or anything.
Valium?
Valium, if you don't get sleep, you see, take it and then go to sleep. And if somebody like Rajneesh takes 60 milligrams of Valium every day, he is in trouble and he will put others also in trouble. Promising something which he cannot deliver. So I don't see any difference between you see, the disturbances that are created in that system either through your techniques of meditation or you see contortions of the body or you see religious stuff, I don't see any difference at all.
So what you're saying is despair is one of the changes the organism goes through. Any kind of attempt you make to resolve the problem through thought is only going to compound it.
This organism is not interested in perfecting anything. It is a perfect peace. That's all that I am emphasizing. So your idea is totally different. The culture has superimposed on that, and the value system. And the value systems are the ones that have falsified the natural, spontaneous responses of the living organism to the stimuli. So you're all the time, you see, coloring them and trying to produce results. The actions of the living organism are totally unrelated to the actions that are, what is the word, you see, the result of your thinking.
No, say again, the actions of...
The action I am talking about is the response to the stimuli. And so your action is born out of thought. Not just a thought. Thought itself is action. But when you use that, you see, to produce certain results which are socially acceptable or not acceptable,
That's a distortion.
which fit into or don't fit into the value system, then you see the despair is there. You see, frustration is there. You are not dealing with any of those things except frustration. You are frustrated. You want for some reason to be free from anger, or jealousy, or envy, or greed. But you see, whatever you are doing has not freed you from that, and it gives you hope that one day through some miracle or through the help of somebody or through some other technique, you will be able to resolve the problem. You see, the society may condemn, you see, jealousy. The religious man may condemn it, you see, for his own reasons, for the smooth running of the society. But jealousy, if you are not jealous, you see, you are sick. You are a sick man. That's a natural response. So that jealousy cannot act in destroying anybody,
So the fact that we found it to be a problem is itself a concocted.
Is it? That's what I am suggesting.
Solution to begin with.
You see, the solutions are not really the solutions. We are dealing with the solutions that are really inadequate to deal with what you call the problem. If there is anything to the solution, it should be easy for you to solve the problem. So that is not the solution. And if that is not the solution, then the man who is suggesting that or offering it as the one and the only panacea, then you have to question that man. You see, you don't question, you see, the person or the thing that is offering you all these solutions. You question yourself, you see, and that creates some sort of a guilt, self-pity, you see,
I think if you don't mind my suggesting,
Yes.
maybe you better move over into the chair because I think the plank behind you is making the noise.
Is it making the noise or is it breaking?
It is.
We can put
I said, the more confusion, the better. I was saying.
I don't know, you are interested in the clarity of thought. I'm emphasizing a totally unrelated thing. When I talk of clarity, you see, I'm talking of the clarity of the sensory perceptions. You see, that's the nature of the living organism. It has to be alert, you see, always to respond to the stimuli.
And you are also saying probably there can never be any clarity with thought.
No.
It's only a mess.
You say,
It only
to
creates-
use your philosophical jargon, it's a dialectical thinking about thinking itself. You see, somebody asked me, what is the good of it all? You see, philosophy, religion, it helps you to sharpen, you see, the instrument, you see, it is limited and it is very, very functional in that area. So you cannot use that, you see, to achieve any results. That's all that I am saying. Within that framework, it is valid and then very useful, very helpful to win your argument over somebody, to tear apart the argument or the logical approaches to the problem. It helps you. It is a very powerful instrument, you see, in that area. It is limited in its usefulness. But it will not be of any help to you to function sanely in this world, intelligently in this world.
The body is perfect, right, as it is, as a machine.
It's a perfect piece.
And yet, thought
Yes.
is physical too. It goes with the body.
You see-
it's a product of the physiological activity of the body.
Exactly, a blissful state you are interested in or you are trying to put yourself into all the time is disturbing the
What he
chemistry
says
of
is very interesting. So
Yeah,
even
I'm coming to that.
thought.
I'm coming to that point. You see, the thought is there pushing you in the direction of becoming a perfect man. Nature, I don't have any special insight into the nature of things, or I don't know if there is any such thing as evolution. I have no idea. and I have no way of knowing it for myself or testing the validity of all these theories, but it is interested in perfecting the species, number one. Number two, you see, it is not using anything as a model. No? But we have superimposed what is called the perfect man, which is the basis of that is the model of Jesus, Buddha, all the teachers of mankind. You see. So you are trying, you see, to model your actions and your behavior patterns.
No, I understand. Those ideals are the product of thought. And they are cut off from reality. But thought itself is a product of the body. It's physiological activity.
Yes, but when once that is used to perfect something that is totally unrelated to the functioning of the body, then it becomes the enemy of the body. So where do you draw the line?
So there is an enemy within.
The enemy is within. The enemy you are looking for is, what is that in the cartoons there? The enemy you are looking for
there
is
is this. Yes, it is within.
Yes.
The thought that is me is there within this framework.
You talk as if thought is out there.
It's there, yes, it says in the body.
The ideations and meditations, you see, are not out there. You see, the culture is not out there.
It is here.
The society is not out there. I'm not using that, you see, the familiar, you are the society, you are the world. Now created you and me is for the sole purpose of maintaining its continuity. It is a self-perpetuating mechanism.
What you call society?
What you call culture, society, or the movement of thought, or give any name you like. And that is all it can do. See, you talk as if, you see, it is outside, you know. The despair, you call it, and anger, frustration, you give different names like this. You see, this is a table, this is a chair, this is a swinging table, and that's a sofa, it's a man, it's a woman, and so on, you see. So like that, you see, you give different names, despair, anger, greed, jealousy, envy. But basically, they are all the sensations, you see, the responses to the stimuli of your own.
Animation that is there now, right now.
It is part of the expression of the energy, see, that's all. Not with the idea of winning you over to my point of view or to, you see, I am not interested, you see, not at all.
What you see outside is the screen. What is the inside is the projector.
No, there is
Everything inside comes from inside, not from there.
No, first of all, you make the distinction there and call that outside and inside here. So that's what I am saying. It is the frontier that separates, you see, things and says that is out there and something else is in here. But actually it is not outside there. What is it that separates you from what you call outside is this thinking. See, otherwise you have no way of separating yourself from what is happening out there or inside. So you separate yourself from whatever is happening there and call it despair. And the next moment you call it boredom. Another moment you call it, you see, greed. Another moment you call it something else. So if the thought does not separate it itself, as if that there is not some other entity who is separating from whatever is happening, it has no way of, you see, understanding or doing anything about it. They are all, you see, each one may have a different intensity of its own. It's not of your own making. Anger has a tremendous intensity of its own. What you call affection has another intensity of its own. But for some reasons you say that, you see, you should love somebody, you should be compassionate to somebody, you should not hate somebody. But basically they all have different intensities. All vibrations have different intensities and you have nothing to do with them. The moment you identify yourself or try to separate yourself from any one of those vibrations, you have created the problem for yourself. So the intensity or whatever it is of a particular sensation that is there, which is part of this functioning of the body, and it cannot be separated from it at all, except through this. So you are protecting yourself, what you call yourself, by separating yourself and creating an armor around yourself. You do not want to be touched by despair, But yet, you see, you want to deal with despair. How are you going to deal with despair? Thought, we always talk of thought. So you cannot separate yourself from thought and say this is thought. And what you are dealing with or what you know about thought is all about thought. But thought, you really cannot separate it from energy. As you say, it is an integral part of, you see, the movement piece. The energy and thought, they are one and the same. So you call it thought because of a particular action. It is acting. Well, what is that action? Any action that you know of is born out of your thinking. You see? Otherwise, you do not know that this is the response to that stimulus. So it is one unitary movement. Stimulus and response is one unitary movement. It's all right, you can go to a laboratory and the doctor will hit you with this some instrument and say this is the response of that, you see, stimulus he is giving, you see. So he is giving you a knowledge about it, and by repeating that knowledge you are able to experience and talk about as if, you see, the sensation is different from, you see, the stimulus.
But it follows in a very systematic way, in the sense that those definitions of stimulus and response, etc., even though they may not represent the actuality, they are working definitions.
If there is something wrong, you see, then he can help you.
Yeah, so it
by
works.
saying if you are not responding, you know, in that sense, if you leave that alone without doing anything about it, where is thought? Is it separate from the energy? You don't know. You have no way of knowing it at all. So you are interested in some directives, to use your phrase, for resolving your problems. Fine, let's go somewhere else. He has a solution for your problem.
We seem to find sometimes help through meditation and all that. You think that's all for us?
You see, this is a very peaceful thing. You see, how the hell you are going to create a peaceful mind there? It's born out of total exhaustion of this battle. I don't know if you can give a definition.
I don't know, I'm asking you.
Then we don't bother about it. Why should we bother about meditation? I really don't know anything.
You just mentioned the word meditation.
He asked
you must have a
he
concept.
asked me the question.
What is the concept
Meditation.
of meditation?
He's not guilty afterwards.
I can always meditate. You meditate. You see on what? I don't
Whatever
know.
it is you do, it's in the name of meditation.
Contemplation or meditation you're talking about?
The Christians call it contemplation, the Hindus call it meditation. And when you want to brush aside both contemplation and meditation, you invent a thing called meditative state. And then from then on you try to put yourself into or stay in that meditative state. Well, God knows what that meditative state is. You know? You meditate about what?
You said something on the table. You said the body knows it is immortal.
You see,
Right.
that's
What is this?
No.
This
I'm sorry.
morbid
Yes,
preoccupation.
that's a manner of speaking. You see, the body has no way of experiencing it coming to an end. You see, it is always renewing itself. When it cannot renew itself anymore, a sort of disintegration takes place. But the disintegration is a continuity or a process
Disintegration, you say it's continuity, I call it death. The disintegration you say is the continuity, I call it death.
No, but what you call death actually is a continuity of life. You see, the decomposition of the body is you see, the same thing, you see, as the continuity of life. You see, you may not like. You
So
see,
why is morbid
you may not be able to
preoccupation
make
with death?
love, you see, to your darling anymore because she's there, disintegrating the corpse.
It's
I'm sorry to use it.
Yes, so but why then the morbid preoccupation with death?
Because you do not want, you see, this instrument that you are using is a self-perpetuating mechanism.
And it knows.
And it knows that its survival depends
On
upon
this person.
knowing.
Unknowing.
No. Unknowing also is an invention of that, and the pursuit of what it calls the unknown gives continuity to the known. That is why you always ask how. How means you want to know.
No.
You see, through that knowing.
This mechanism that is here and wanting to understand from you what you're saying is for its continuity.
Through this you want, you see, you know vaguely that, you see, that there is some danger awaiting you, because you have seen it happen around you, and you have known moments, you see, when the thought is in a very quiet state, which you see, call it a spiritual state or a spiritual experience, or God knows what it is. And so you see, you sense in a way, and because the death wish, if I may use that psychological jargon, is part of that. Anything that is born has to be destroyed. See, so the moment the thought is born, the dissolution, is that the word or whatever is the word, of that is an integral part of that. You see, the birth and death is taking place simultaneously, but you create a space between the two, and this point is the birth and this point is the death. So you have no way of experiencing either this point or this point.
Yes, so the central, there is a problem in this, that there's a central problem in this, that there's something here that wants to know, and that itself becomes part of the problem. That is the problem, in fact, isn't it?
No, that is its nature. It's
its nature. So its nature is problematical. Its nature is problematical.
So you see, to ask for the ending of that is not in its interest at all. You do not want that to end.
But at the same time, you see it as a problem.
No, I don't want it to end. I want to perpetuate that.
Yes, certainly.
Yes.
Through this enlightenment,
Yes.
you hope, or lives after your present life, reincarnation and all that kind of a thing, you see, you will be able to give continuity to it in a different form. So that's why you have invented, or you may not have invented, somebody has invented a soul, you see, a permanence.
It's permanence.
Permanence. So the body is not concerned about its permanence, because your concern about the permanence is limited to this framework. So this is not separate from the other separate and deal with it.
Yes.
No, it is not possible to separate yourself from despair. So what you are interested in is what to do about the despair and not despair.
So what do you mean by dealing with it?
You see, you are talking as if it is a problem.
Obviously, it's a problem.
Well,
It
becomes a problem when you want to do something which is not there. What is there, I am asking you?
There's no problem.
There is no problem there. You have created a problem by wanting to deal with something that is not there. That's all that I am saying.
It's all an illusion.
No, the problem is the demand for continuity. Right? The problem is the demand for permanence.
So you want the despair. You see, if as you say its demand is continuity, you are demanding the continuity of despair and not freeing yourself from despair. That's all that I am pointing out. You want that. You don't want to be free from fear. You are doing everything. You see, every therapy, every technique, everything you are doing is not to be free from that.
That doesn't. It doesn't seem like something that would be a natural tendency to not want to be free of fear. It seems that it would be the opposite.
But I don't
see.
The neurotic. I don't want to use all this psychological jargon anyway. You see, that has become part of our modern slang. You see, So that is the neurotic situation. Wants two things at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
That's the only way it can survive, and it becomes impossible for us to handle.
It's fear creation of the mind. The spirit creation of the mind.
That brings another definition of mind.
Everything that we see around us is the creation of the mind.
You don't see anything, that's all that
everything the mind perceives. It's of its own.
You see, perceiving, I don't want to use these philosophical terms, perceiving, perceiver, perception. You see, perceiving is the perceiver. Perceiving and perceiver are one and the same. The body has no, what I am emphasizing is the body has no way of experiencing itself.
Certainly, because there's a thing.
So it is not even interested in experiencing itself. So you want to experience the body through the help of the knowledge that you have and say that this is your body. Yes, that is your body, this is my body, I agree. See, if you ask me, is this your body or my body for purposes of communication? I use the knowledge that is given to me and that tells me that this is my body. You see, how can I say that this is my body? You see, whose body? My. What is that my? The my is the knowledge. You see, I have of this body or your body. So it tries to make the distinction between your body and my body and says that this is my body. Alright, you see, some joker has come along and said that, I live in a state of consciousness which has no body consciousness. And probably, you see, through some techniques of meditation, you see, he increases the blood pressure. If the blood pressure is high, you don't experience your own body. You have experienced all that, you see,
when the body dies and it goes to disintegrate into its 5 elements, what happens to the mind? Does the mind perpetuate itself or it's perishable?
You see, what I'm trying to point out is that there is no such thing as your mind or my mind.
No, I'm talking about, I'm not talking about
I don't know if you, I have no objection for
I'm
the
talking
word.
about mind, not your mind.
You see, mind is the totality of experiences, thoughts and feelings passed on to us, and we use that knowledge to experience.
Who passes it on to us?
He, me, you, your father, your brother, you see the whole culture.
So what is it that but the body is not mine, the mind is not mine. What does this mean?
That's exactly
you say the mind is not mine, the body is not yours.
The thoughts are not yours.
So what is this idiotic me which seems to be suffering?
You walking in here and claiming a squatter's right for this property. That's all that
world of illusion, not reality. That's all it is. We are living in a world of illusion, not reality.
If somebody comes with a gun, you see, you don't say that it is an illusion.
You protect yourself. Anything perishable is an illusion.
Everything is perishable.
Good, therefore it is illusion.
Why do you say it is illusion?
It is not reality.
Anything you want to stop that, you see, is an illusion. You are not going to succeed.
So
you are not going to succeed.
That's reality.
That's what we are all the time trying to do.
Yes.
To stop, you see, something which you cannot control, something which you cannot
so
control.
God, that way is an illusion. In that way. In that way.
Don't bother.
Anything you want to stop, you say.
Why bother about
anything that wants to
since you cannot
perishable, you say.
No, since you cannot control anything. So you invent a thing called God there, and He is the one who can control.
Where is he? Wait a minute. God is not there.
He is not here. If he must be there, if there is one there. I don't know where he is. Oh, that's going too far.
So,
if he is within me, if he is within me, he has done it.
Because you haven't gone within yet. Go within and you find him.
I didn't find anything
But
there.
go within, therefore.
Yeah, all right.
No, you said something. Anything that tries to stop that thing, you see, from perishing, is an illusion.
I don't want to use the word illusion.
What did you say?
I don't want to use that is his word. I'm not blaming him. Say, why you want to use the word illusion? What do you mean?
I didn't use the word, you used it.
I didn't either. He says it's an illusion. I don't say, how can I say the world is an illusion?
I'm explaining what you're supposed to say.
The world is not an illusion. You see, even those who use this word illusion did not mean to say that this world is an illusion. Anything you experience of this world is an illusion. That's all they said.
So experience is...
Because you have no way of experiencing the reality of anything. Forget about the ultimate reality. See, so it is not possible for you to experience anything without the help of this knowledge.
I can experience the fear of someone
experience the
pointing a gun
reality
at
is
me
to
and
be
waving
the
me out of
reality.
the
You
way.
act there. Listen, you act there.
Right now.
Yes, that's what I am saying. You don't call it an illusion. You duck or put your hands or you fall or hit the bastard back. You see, that is action I am talking, but there is no point in sitting here and discussing what would you do in such a situation when a man comes with a gun. You see, when he is there, you don't talk of non-violence and preventing, non-killing, nothing. You will act. That is the intelligence that is there.
If there is intelligence there, it
That
acts.
is always there. Otherwise, you and I wouldn't be here today. It has survived for millions and millions.
So we confuse that with fear because that's not really
The
fear.
intelligence that is necessary for the survival of the living organism is there.
Right.
And if it is not available, and if it
Then you
cannot
don't survive.
use it for its survival,
Then we have it. We're
all that I am saying. You see, immediate action, not born out of thinking. You see, when you are holding a ball of fire, you don't think about it, you just drop it. Thinking about, you see, what to do with it is going to burn it. That is why you don't want to deal with your despair, with your anger, with your any one of those things. So you don't want to be free from, you see. Then there is an immediate action. The action is despair. And it frees you forever, you see, because all of them are the same. You don't have to deal with, you see, this is anger, this is greed, this is something else. All of them are the same, any one of them.
So is that why you're saying that
you
we're
don't
not...
play with ordinary fire, electric fire, atomic, all are the same, you see. You are not involved there. So all actions are like that. You are not acting, you are just thinking about it, you see, what I would do in a given situation. You see, every time the situation is different. Every frame is different. You as a film man, you know that. You produce the illusion on the screen that there is a movement. Where is the movement there? When once you frame it, you have stopped the movement. You give me the illusion through the help of a projector and produces the movement on the screen, but there is no movement there. Every frame is different. Huh? You know the difference between the sound and the frame. How many frames?
19 and a half.
19 and a half frames difference there.
Sound is up.
It's a continuum.
So that's why thought comes faster than you see your perceptions. But actually these are very quick and, sorry?
It's continuum. Life is a continuum. There is no past or future. There is only now, and this now is eternal.
It's very comforting to talk of that. Very comfortable to talk of it.
Life is a continuum. That is why you can
So, I mean,
stop it and you say, here it
See,
is.
you say we don't want to be free of fear,
No.
but
Do you?
well, I don't have the ball.
Everything is perishable. Let me finish.
All right, go ahead.
Once you are one with the
I am slow, I
absolute
cannot go
reality,
with you.